the Hebrew in this song says Refuah Shelema, which means a complete healing of mind, body, and soul. And that's a lot of what this event is about right now. So let's send out some healing to all the people who need it, and also receive some healing. Share together.
Here for?
I live home.
You live here?
Yeah, are you recording me?
I am recording you. I'm a tourist.
If I can focus my energy where it needs to be, then I'll heal the world. I'll heal the world. You know forgiveness is the remedy, so I'm gonna give it to my enemies to finally set me free. Let it be we heal the world. When the sun rises on a new day, we the bluebirds singing, I'll be okay. Like you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Then the moonlight, see the whole night. On the dark times, they can leave paradise. Oh, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Be sure.
And this is Joanna Cos, Modern United, and my producing partner on this project, and she's been incredible, amazing, everything, and she's the reason she introduced me to Drake. She and Drake met because they live in the same building.
Gems, Captain Katie, Tomer, the painter of these amazing paintings. Everybody's connected, and that's why this film is here in front of you today. Is because that connection. It doesn't matter where you are in life and where you grow up. The cultures do not divide us, and we all have the same familiar wants, the desires. We believe in our families, and that's why I want to make this film. I want to show those divisions that actually don't exist. So it's about two mothers connected by a horrible trauma, and it's their struggle to find hope in the aftermath. Each mother is from various, widely different cultures, and they find hope together through spirituality in different forms. So that's why I wrote this film, and lucky enough I met Joanna at my building. And she was like, oh, I would love to be involved and work with you and give me ideas, and it's been a really fruitful partnership.
We gotta come together. Gentlemen, Emmanuel Kelly, the Emmanuel Kelly.
She's from Co-Creation.
Yes, yes, we met through. Oh, like, who was your surprise guest?
Chris Martin.
Of course, of course. It's like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
He's nervous though, yes maybe no. I hope he feels the cigarettes. His friends are left. He brings his head straight right away. Cause you're different, it's okay. It's okay. You won't show the world they don't have to be afraid. What if I try to hide me?
Can you remind me? And I want to introduce you to this guy named Dr. Habib Sadegh.
Okay,
There's a center called Beehive.
okay.
Beehive of Healing. He helps all types of people with all types of conditions, but he's very natural. But he does Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, Chris Martin, but he doesn't just do it, he also mentors them through the process.
Oh, great.
It's absolutely amazing what he does. You should definitely.
I got a story for you though. I had another, so a psychosis for me is like a shamanistic moment. And I really got the newest download after the 4th blood moon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about like the revelations, love,
That wasn't what
and
took
God.
you to hospital though, was it?
No, it was my neighbor freaking out. But that's another story. They called, and then there was the EMT, the police, and the fire department, and I was prophesizing. I was prophesizing to them. I was telling them what the end times will look like and all this other stuff that I wasn't me. I was like, Holy Spirit, God, and Saturn were all in me. I know it sounds really ridiculous, but like it is what it is. And I was prophesizing.
It's not ridiculous, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I appreciate that. Oh, so documentary diary called Diary of a Crazy Entrepreneur.
Oh, nice.
And I basically just document my life.
Yeah.
But like told through my eyes, just kind of went like great people. So if you don't mind, I would love to film you a little bit impromptu.
Sure.
Hey. Hi. Good, how are you? Oh, what is the traumatic experience that got you to be like, no more, no more? Like I want the deep stuff, the dark, deep,
Oh,
deep
jeez.
stuff.
I've
I
always
know.
wanted that. A friend of mine died when I was 3 years old. So when you know facing death at 3, you suddenly think of two things: one, what the heck happens next, and two, how do we really make the most of our time, because we could go at any time.
Yeah.
So that's what got me really thinking. Okay, what's beyond this world, and how do we make the most out of life?
Yeah. You were 3?
Yeah.
You still remember that?
clearly,
Oh my
yeah.
God. It is stemmed from instinct
Yeah.
and passion,
Right.
you know, but from what I've already experienced, because I was married at one point, I knew the guy I was with for 7 years, I knew, like, on the first time I met him, you know? And then the second guy, who was my fiance at the time, I knew, you know? So this time, I mean, I'm already 34, so I'm thinking, you know, forget the games. I already know. It's kind of arrogant, but I'm like, I already have an instinct. That instinct is usually true.
Well, but has it proven true? So, for example, like, do you want to be married?
With the right person.
Okay. So, do you define marriage as together till death you part?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, by to me, the literal definition with it, anything that does not last till death is by definition a failed marriage. It might not be a failed relationship. It might be a successful relationship that ended well and all that stuff like that, but it's by definition a failed marriage.
Right.
Right? So the thing is, if, you know, and if we've been through relationships where we thought that was the case, or we were married and we got out of it or something, we essentially failed.
Yeah.
From the marriage perspective.
Yeah.
So then that brings to point, like, if in our best thinking,
something's happening.
Rattlesnake.
Oh,
wow.
shit. Thank
Oh
you. Oh my God. Back up. Yeah, let's just back up. Speaking of failed marriages. No, I'm definitely turning around. Rattlesnake.
The deal with it is like, okay, so if my best thinking got me to this place where I thought this was the person who's going to spend the rest of my life with and I didn't, then the next time that comes up, I want to question my thinking.
Yeah.
Right? So then the way to is not to shut down those emotions, but to say, like, you know, the car I got, it took me a year to decide because I wanted to just, you know, once I was done with that decision, I want to be done with that decision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do an impulse buy.
Yeah.
And I even dated some other cars.
Yeah, okay.
That I thought was like, I'm a Jeep man, you know? And I had this Jeep for a week, and I'm like, not a Jeep man. You know? So, but I thought I was.
Right.
So that's where it comes in for me, is like, I think I've certainly felt all those intense emotions at first, and now it's like, wait a minute, you've been here before, felt this before, slow your roll.
Yeah.
Let's just, you know, one step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, that's less about a game than it is like knowing myself and my biases and how things can play out unconsciously.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yes, yes. All of it is yes. I'm learning a lot just these past few days on, you know, CODA and all that.
Oh, have you ever been?
I have, and I have found myself in relationships where I was more of the codependent.
Yeah.
You know, my first marriage or first serious relationship, I was not the coda, I was the other way, and then my second one, I was more of the codependent, and I mean, it's a dance, you know, it depends on who you're dancing with. I will say that there's something to be said on love, because I realize you can love someone and still have a failed marriage. You can love someone and still never talk or see them again, you know, but you could still love them.
Right.
I think marriage and love are mutual, and they could be mutually exclusive at the same time. You know, like, so I was just more of like the purest way of like, you know, being your authentic self. If your heart is stirring and you have this overwhelming surge of emotion, just let it out, put it out there in the universe, instead of pretending to be someone to manipulate the situation, you know? Like, for example, in the past, how I was able to, let's say, fish him in, if you will, is I did play the cool cat, you know? I know how to play the game. You know, when you have that surge of emotion, of course you could withhold it. Of course you can, you know, just be a certain persona in the listening of the other person, and reel them in that way. But like you said, you know, like, you're eventually going to have to be who you are, or you're going to be discovered.
Right.
So my whole game my shtick in the game this last time around is just be who I am authentically, you know? And if it didn't work out, which it didn't, at least I knew, you know? Like, it was a quick burn. It was like a fireball, you know? Like, once you're in it and then you're out of it, and it's like a quick turnaround. But, you know, I believe that's transformation, because at the same time, you quickly know.
Well, what if you actually authentic statement, or is the authentic statement, you know,
I lust you.
Well, that's one, but I mean, it could be like anything from, man, I feel like I am just shivering with anticipation, or I feel like I, just want to get to know every part of your soul right now. Like, things that are very true to your subjective experience without using a very vague, loaded term that can mean anything.
Then what do you call that thing then? What you just described?
I'm describing sensations. I'm describing thoughts. Like, nobody can deny you, what you're thinking and feeling. That's, to me, authenticity.
Yeah.
Is, wow, I feel like I just want to take you right now. Wow, I gotta admit, I'm thinking about, us living together, or like whatever those things are, is very different to me from I love you, which is like this code phrase that means so many different things. And that the more, like, to me, authenticity is what's true from my experience that's undeniable versus could start an argument because of words.
Interesting that you made the distinction between love as a loaded word that's coded in very vagueness, and just being able to describe the emotion, And so, there was that sensation of, and maybe it was a syntactual error that I made, because you're right, all those things that you described, like, hey, I can foresee us, like, traveling and being with each other and, making sweet love all the time, like maybe that was, all in the language of potentiality that I could have expressed, rather than just dropping the L-bomb, like, I love you.
Right.
Which is so vague, right?
Right.
That's interesting. But regardless, in real time, it didn't work out. It exploded in goodness, actually. It's a good kind of explosion. It was more of like, I did a lot of shadow work in that full authentic way of, let me say it again, because then we just said it's not fully authentic that I said love, but let's just say that I was able to drop it and then be given feedback from the gentleman.
Yeah.
And he said that he basically called it. It was really harsh, but it was harsh in a way that I needed to hear it. He said, "You don't love me." That's the first thing he said, right? So I had to really think about it. I had to, like, own that space. And then the next thing he said was, after going some back and forth, I was doing a lot of writing. Like, it felt like I was just writing to myself. And then he was just kind of like, poor guy. Like the punching bag, if you will. It's a horrible analogy.
Yeah.
But it was a love letter to myself in a way,
Yeah.
But yeah, what it did for me was it gave me clarity to my addiction. Like, okay, I'm on it right now. I'm on full-blown love addiction or attachment. And secondly, he called me out as being a bad and sick person. So I was like, he's right. I am sick. I'm sick. So I had to go back to my program, my 12-step, because I was out for like 3 years or 2 years because I started the 12-step, I left it at step 6. I never completed it. And then I'm a bad person because, I'm accepting that life is neutral, bad and good. But still, in his listening, it's a bad thing. Like, what I did was a bad thing because we had gotten along really well initially. We had major chemistry.
What made it bad?
Me dropping the L.
But what's bad about that?
A lot of neediness and expectation and patience, because when I realize I'm like, oh, I'm falling for you, or I put it out in the universe, I suddenly became that theme, like someone needs alcohol or a cigarette, or I suddenly objectified him without even realizing it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got a lot of insight about myself in that space of that short-lived relationship.
Running around for the answers. Always be with trust in us, you can heal. You have to trust. Accepting destiny is hard but real.
An old flame and I started talking again. And it's good to hear his voice. I realized that in my amendments, my addiction has caused a lot of hurt. And what I thought was support wasn't. It was avoidance. I am sick, and I admitted to him that I was sick. I told him that I'm traveling because I don't want to hurt people. Because if I'd known them long enough, I would eventually hurt them. So it's better if I just kept my distance. It's good to be intimate with them for a few times, but after a while, nobody can handle this. Nobody can handle this. I could barely handle this, so. He said he still loves me. He says that when he realized he fell in love with me, it was already too late. I didn't want him anymore. And half of me thinks he's bullshitting, and the other half of me thinks he's for real. Double-minded, double-tongued. On the one hand, I love men like him. On the other, I hate men like him. I realized I was imprinted from a young age. I mean, after all, if your dad was that kind of guy, then of course you're gonna follow that type. So I guess the struggle has been like, where do you stop the insanity?
In your eyes, there's a heavy blue. Want to lie and want to lose. Sweet divine.
This side to the sound of the heart. This is the place where it starts. To the place you know you'll never be led astray. Wherever you go, listen to your heart and follow.
The call is to leave a certain social situation, to move into your own loneliness and find the jewel, the center that's impossible to find when you're socially engaged. You are thrown off center, and when you feel off center, it's time to go. This is a departure, when the hero feels something has been lost and goes to find it. You are to cross the threshold into new life. It's a dangerous adventure because you are moving out of the sphere of the knowledge of you and your community. The first step, detachment or withdrawal, consists in a radical transfer of emphasis from the external to the internal world, macro to microcosm, a retreat from the desperations of the wasteland to the peace of the everlasting realm that is within. But this realm, as we know from psychoanalysis, is precisely the infantile unconscious. It is the realm that we enter in sleep. We carry it within. All the ogres and secret helpers of our nursery are there, all the magic of childhood, and more important, all the life potentialities that we never managed to bring to adult realization. Those other portions of ourselves are there, for such golden seeds do not die.
Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. The sound of love coming through. What would that sound do for you? Oh, great Spirit, grant me courage, make me wiser today. Pass this knowledge to my children and all who walk this way. Oh, great Spirit, grant me courage, make me wiser today. Pass this knowledge to my children and all who walk this way. Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. The sound of love coming through. What would that sound do for you? For you. Listen to your heart and follow.
When one thinks of some reason for not going, or has fear, and remains in society because it's safe, the results are radically different from what happens when one follows the call. If you refuse to go, then you are someone else's servant. When this refusal of the call happens, there is a kind of drying up, a sense of life lost. Everything in you knows that a required adventure has been refused. Anxieties build up. What you have refused to experience in a positive way, you will experience in a negative way. If what you are following, however, is your own true adventure, if it is something appropriate to your deep spiritual need or readiness, then magical guides will appear to help you. If you say, everyone's going on this trip this year and I'm going too, then no guides will appear. Your adventure has to be coming right out of your own interior, if you are ready for it. Then doors will open when there were no doors before, and where there would not be doors for anyone else. And you must have courage. It's the call to adventure, which means there is no security, no rules. When you cross the threshold, you are passing into the dark forest, taking a plunge into the sea, embarking upon the night sea journey. It involves passing through clashing rocks, narrow gates, or the like, which represent yes and no, the pair of opposites. There will be a moment when the walls of the world seem to open for a second, and then you get an insight through. Jump then, go. The gates will often close so fast that they take off the tail of your horse. You may be dismembered, lose everything you have. This is Christ leaving the mother, the world, and going to the Father, the Spirit. This is Jonah swallowed by the whale, its jaws being the pairs of opposites. What this represents psychologically is the trip from the realm of conscious, rational intentions into the zone of those energies of the body that are moving from another center, the center with which you are trying to get in touch. As you now go towards the center, there will come more aids as well as increasingly difficult trials. You have to give up more and more of what you're hanging on to. The final thing is a total giving up, a yielding all the way. This is a place directly opposite to your life experiences and all that you've been taught in school. The deeper you go, the closer you get to the final realization, the heavier the resistance. You are coming down to those areas that are the ones that are repressed. And it's that repression system that you have to pass through. And there, of course, is where magical aid is most required. The hero may here discover for the first time that there is everywhere a benign power supporting him in his supernatural, superhuman passage. You come then to the final experience of discovering and making your own that which was lacking in the place from which you departed. This experience can be rendered in 4 different ways. One rendition is the sacred marriage, the meeting with the beloved, which brings the birth of your own spiritual life, with the bride being whatever the life is that you're relating to. Another rendering is atonement with the Father. The Son has been separated from the Father, meaning he has been living a life that's inappropriate to his real heritage. The Son is the temporal aspect and the Father is the internal aspect of the same being. The Father represents the natural order from which you have been removed. You are trying to find your character, which you inherit from your Father. Atonement is bringing your own personal and contemporary program into accord with the life momentum out of which you have come. Then there is apotheosis, the realization that I am that which all these other beings are. The hero knows that he is it, the Buddha image, the knower of the truth. Finally, there's the elixir theft, an entirely different sort of realization. Instead of slow progress through the mysteries with the goodwill of the powers, there's a violent pressure through and a seizing, the fire theft by Prometheus, or the use of LSD in the 60s, and you flee from the powers that you did not appease on the way. This is the transformation flight, where the hero with the powers after him carries his goods back to the light world as fast as he can, or one can have a schizophrenic crack up and stay down there. Well, which one do I want to do? I want to do the sacred marriage. That is the story, the path I want to take. That's so interesting. There's 4 paths. Stay there. Sit. Sit. Sit, Foxy. Drop it, Bibba. Alright. I love you, baby. I love you. See how beautiful it is out there? All that green. Up. I don't think that's the way we went, dude. Okay, if you insist. You think this is the way? Back there? Okay. Okay, hold on. No. It's this way. This way, you got it. Yep. No, right here. Good girl. Yeah, you got it, girl. You got it. This way. You got it. You want me to go first? Okay, this way. You got this one? Not that way. Okay, hold on. Hold on, not that way. Let's go this way. Hold on. Oh shit, you just wanted to see if I could do it.
Return in some manner.
Nope. There is no series of conditions I can envision from having talked to people up and down the hierarchy at NBC in which Matt Lauer would be welcome back at the network. Let us recall that Lauer was accused, among other things, of a sexual act with a more junior colleague that was so severe she was sent for immediate medical care afterward. He has denied some of these allegations.
You want a woman that you can control. And when you do find a woman that you completely control, when she's fully submitted to you, she's no longer a woman. She is a doll. She is a plaything. She is a tool. Tools in your toolbox. She's no longer a full woman. She's compromised herself. She's lost a piece of her soul, sacrificed it for your egoic pride and illusory power, feeding into the dragon so that the dragon may consume it whole. And that is how you steal a soul. The good news is that there is redemption. The power of love is more.
You're gonna be A-okay.
The power of love is more powerful than power itself. Love has a transformative formula. It's able to absorb, transform.
High five, girl. High five.
And make anew.
Pa.
It is water.
Oh. Love you, girl. Love you. All right. Let's get ready to go.
Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it, baby, baby. Get down on it. Get on it. Get down on it. Sha-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I will take that. That's crazy. I was getting excited for the low 90s. I'll make it for
Life source, life giver, life redeemer. And so, at the pit of Eve's soul is the seed of hope. And that hope is the great Redeemer, given to us, blessed in a gift. The woman has the extra chromosome that all atoms are missing. The woman is the extra, for she carries the seed of hope.
Oh, Great Spirit, grant me courage, make me wiser today. Pass this knowledge to my children and all who walk this way. Oh, Great Spirit, grant me courage, make me wiser today. Pass this knowledge to my children and all who walk this way. Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. Listen to your heart and follow. The sound of love coming through. What would that sound do for you? For you. Listen to your heart and follow.